So, welcome everyone to the Study Abroad as a Biology Major info session. My name is Camille Santa Elena. I'm one of the undergraduate advisors for biology, and Rachel is here to present too. Go ahead, Rachel.
Yes, hi everybody. My name is Rachel Rigoli, and I'm a study abroad advisor in the study abroad office here at UCSD. And I'm going to be presenting at the beginning of the session, and then I'm going to turn it back over to Camille at the end, and she's going to talk about, the procedures for getting credit for your biology major. So we'll go ahead and get started. I would like to start with an overview of the different avenues for you to study abroad. And it can be a bit overwhelming because we have a lot of different options for you to study abroad. So the good news is you have a lot of options. The bad news is it can be a bit overwhelming, but I will be going through these different program types and explaining the process with you today. So through UC San Diego, we have global seminars and the global exchange program. Through the University of California, we have the Education Abroad program and other UC campus programs. And then you can study abroad outside the UC system through a program called the Opportunities Abroad program. So I'd like to start first with UCAP, which is the University of California Education Abroad program. And this is the UC system-wide program. So students at Berkeley, Riverside, whatever UC campus, we all have the same program options through UCAP. And UCAP offers about 150 programs worldwide. They have summer, fall, spring, year-long programs. And it's like you've never left UCSD. And the reason being is you're going to pay your UC tuition, you're going to get UC credit, and the courses and grades are going to actually just end up on your UCSD transcript magically after you're done with the program. And because you're going to be getting credit for the program, you can use your financial aid when you're abroad through UCAP. So it's very streamlined. The other program type that's available to you is our very own UC San Diego Global Seminars. And global seminars are where you go abroad with a UC San Diego faculty member. You take 2 courses, you're gone for 5 weeks during the summer, and you are in a small cohort. There's usually, I think, no more than 28 students on the program. Some programs run summer session 1, some run summer session 2, but I'm going to be talking about the global seminars programs that might be a great fit for bio majors a little bit later in the presentation. We also have an opportunity through UC San Diego Global Exchange, and these are exchange agreements between UC San Diego and universities overseas. So with this program, you're going to be paying your UC San Diego tuition, and you're going to get the courses and grades from study abroad. And unfortunately, I think with Global Exchange right now, we're just building it out. I think there's 9 programs. There's not currently a lot of great options for bio majors, but I know that there's some that are coming shortly. I think specifically in Korea, that will be a good fit for bio majors. So I just want to mention Global Exchange because that could be a great option down the road for some of you. And then the other UC campus programs are where you can study abroad through like UC Davis, UC Berkeley, UCLA. I think all the UC campuses, maybe only UC Irvine is the only one, but most of the UC campuses have faculty-led summer programs. And so you go during the summer, you take courses with that UC faculty member. So if you go through UC Davis, you're going to go with a UC Davis professor, and you can earn UC credit and UC grades just like with global seminars. So that's going to open up even more program options for you. And then the last program type I'd like to review is the Opportunities Abroad program. And we call this OAP for short. And OAP is basically going outside the UC system to study on an outside program. So you're going to pay your tuition to another program. So maybe you go on a study abroad provider that's based out of the US and they have a program in a location that interests you. Or maybe you apply directly to a university abroad. You're going to be paying your tuition to that university overseas, and you're going to transfer the credit back, and then you can petition the courses to count for major or college requirements. So students often ask me which program type, because like I said, we have a lot of options available and it can be a bit overwhelming. So I tell students, if you're an in-state California resident, start with the UC programs. So look at UCAP. There's, like I said, 150 programs worldwide. Maybe there's a global exchange program that comes on board that you're excited about. Maybe you're really excited about going, on a summer program with a specific UC professor, so global seminars, or going through another UC campus over the summer. But there are reasons why we may recommend OAP. So in particular, EAP, which tends to be one of our most popular options, they're always going to have eligibility requirements. So they're going to have a set GPA that you need to have in order to study abroad on that program. You may need to have junior standing by departure. Maybe there's a language requirement. And so maybe you don't meet those eligibility requirements that EAP is set, but maybe you meet the eligibility requirements for another program outside of EAP. So just so you know, like global seminars and the other UC summer programs, they only require a 2.0 GPA. But maybe you have your heart set on going during the fall and you want to go to a particular country and you found a program through EAP, but you don't meet the requirements. We can work with you to find an outside provider or maybe direct enrollment at a university in that location. The other reason to pick potentially OAP would be there's a special focus program that you're really excited about, and I'm going to be talking about special focus programs a little bit later in the presentation. Or maybe you want to go to a university or country that we just don't have options within the UC system. So maybe I always throw out the example of Greece. We always get a few students every year that want to go to Greece. And so EAP doesn't have any options in Greece. We don't have anything with global exchange or global seminars. I'm not sure about the other UC programs in the summertime. So maybe you want to look elsewhere. And that's where a reason why you might pick OAP. And then for my out-of-state students and international students that are paying the non-resident tuition, it's usually a cost saver for you to not pay your non-resident tuition while you're abroad. So that would be a reason why we might recommend that you look at an outside program. So we want to make sure that study abroad is accessible and affordable for all of our students. So I just want to talk about financing your study abroad experience. We want to make sure that, studying abroad is not something that you feel that you can't do because you can't afford it. The good news is if you receive financial aid and you're getting academic credit, you can use your financial aid abroad. And it does vary a little bit on how financial aid works, depending on which program type you're going on. So if you're in a program that's within the UC system, or if it's a program during the academic year versus the summer, the financial aid does differ a little bit. And the good news is we do have a financial aid advisor in our office. His name is Eduardo, and he actually is doing drop-in advising on Fridays from 10 to 11:30. So if you've identified a program, you want to talk to him about your financial aid, come to drop-in advising. You just sign in through VAC, and he can certainly talk to you about financial aid. I also know he is having a session on October 18th, and you can go to our homepage, the Study Abroad website for UC San Diego. And if you click on our calendar, you'll see the session on the 18th, and it's going to be, I think, virtual. So check that out. He's going to go through how financial aid works for study abroad. Now, each year we have students get a lot of scholarships for study abroad. And in the past, we've had about $800,000 in special scholarships and grants awarded to our students. And this is money that's specially earmarked for study abroad. And I can tell you right now, I've had students actually get scholarships for study abroad, and then they didn't have to take out loans that they might have taken out if they had stayed on campus. So don't ever think that, study abroad is out of your reach. We are here to work with you and to make sure that you can, if it's your goal to study abroad, we're here to work with you to make sure it will happen. And then if cost is a big factor for you, like if that's your number one concern, tell us when you come meet with us, because certain locations are going to be more affordable than others. So it depends on the length that you study abroad, can change the cost of the program, obviously, and then the location. So if you go to a place like London, it's probably going to be more expensive than you pick a place like Bangkok, Thailand. So now I want to shift gears and talk about the different types of programs. So in today's session, I'm not going to go into listing a million different programs, because I know that's going to make your head spin. So what I'd like to do is talk about the different types of programs and then selecting how you might select a program that would be a good fit for you. So the first type of program I'd like to talk about are immersion programs. And immersion programs are really what the name implies. You're going to be immersed in your study abroad program. And to be immersed in your study abroad program, you're picking from a wide variety of courses from a course catalog at a university abroad. And this is typically done in English because most students won't have maybe another language to be able to take biology courses in a different language. Now, if you do, like if you have advanced Spanish or French or another language and you want to take biology classes or classes in another language, that's going to open up a lot more options for you. But let's say you want to take classes in English. And, so an example, an immersion program would be Melbourne University in Australia, where you go through their class schedule, you enroll in classes, you're in a lecture hall with all Australian students taking your classes alongside them. So I have a list of suggested countries, or sort of the places you're probably going to think of that are English speaking: Australia, New Zealand, England, Scotland, Ireland. But places that you may not have thought about and these are exchange locations that we have with UCAP, would be Botswana in South Africa in Africa, or Hong Kong and Singapore in Asia, or Canada and Barbados. So those locations, all of these locations offer a wide variety of biology courses taught in English. Now, we also have some locations that are not English-speaking countries, but they have enough course offerings in English in biology that they've made it on my slide today. And those locations are Korea, Iceland, Denmark, Sweden, the Netherlands, and Norway. So those are places that you may not have thought about, but you can actually do a full load of courses in biology in English in those locations. So the other type of program that you might want to consider are special focus programs. And special focus programs are, like the name implies, where there's going to be a topic or theme to the program. So it may be marine biology or environmental science and studies or public health. And I have a few examples of EAP programs. And there's going to be a wide variety of options for you through EAP, but I have a few that I've listed here. And these are just examples. So like the EAP Costa Rica program is a fall or spring quarter program. The focus is tropical biology. You get to traipse around the cloud forest in Monteverde, Costa Rica. And you're going to take courses that I believe are pre-approved for biology, because this program has been around for a long time. And I think it actually is pre-approved for a lab requirement. And you're going to actually even get to do research while you're on this program. Australia, we have a special focus program for marine biology, where you get to go out onto the barrier reef. It also has a terrestrial ecology component. And then for students who are like pre-health or interested in public health, we have 3 programs just to highlight: the Dominican Republic, Mexico, Thailand. These are all 3 summer programs where the classes are going to focus on public health. And then I just want to highlight a program called Biological and Life Sciences in the Netherlands. So if you're interested in Europe, this is a one-term program, and they give you a short list of courses that you can pick and choose from. I think one of them is medical ethics, which would be something unique to that location. So the special focus programs, you're not going to pick and choose from a wide variety of courses. They're going to be preset courses that create that theme or topic, or they're going to be a short list that we're going to tell you, okay, there's 10 classes that make up this topic. You're going to pick 5 of them. So that's how it works with special focus programs. Now, to give a shout out to some OAP programs, so outside study abroad programs, there's an organization called DIS Abroad, and they focus on programs in Denmark and Sweden. And they have some really cool programs that I think are great fits for bio majors. They have a track called Medical Practices and Policy, where you learn about socialized medicine. They have a neuroscience track. They have a public health track. They have an Arctic science track. They have some really cool programs. And then the School for International Training, I'm giving a shout out because they have a whole series of programs around the world that really look at public health or health services in different locations. So to give you an example, I think there's like an urban health in Argentina and rural health in traditional medicine in Ecuador. So if those topics interest you, again, this might be a reason why you pick an OAP program, because maybe you decide this is my dream program. This is exactly what I want. I'm going to throw out one last OAP example, which is an emergency medicine program at Tel Aviv University in Israel. And I had a student I worked with years ago who was Israeli American. He wanted to go to Israel. He kept looking at EAP Israel programs that were focused on the social science and humanities, and he kept trying to like make it work. And he found this program through Tel Aviv, and he applied directly. And he was a pre-med student. It was like the perfect programs for him. So I believe it's a summer program, but these are just a small sample of EAP options and OAP options that are available to you as bio majors. So I did want to highlight a couple other options for you as well. Now, EAP offers physics and Ochem summer programs, and these may be of interest to you if you have not done your physics series or your Ochem series. And it's a way for you to go abroad during the summer. You go for 8 weeks, you get 12 UC units, and you wipe out physics over the summer, or you wipe out Ochem over the summer. So physics is in England, and the Ochem series is in Dublin, Ireland. And my coworker had an info session earlier today. I know she recorded the session. So if you check our website and you go to our fall 2020 events page, there will be a posting of the recording, so you can check that out. The other programs that are preset that I wanted to mention, these special focus programs, is UC San Diego Global Seminars. And I'm just going to like go forward on the slide for a second. Here's the list of programs that Global Seminars is offering. So it's a pretty extensive variety of programs available to you. And we're not telling you have to do biology abroad. We're telling, you could certainly, if you're a Revell student and you want to do one of your Revell requirements, we have a Revell in London and Rome and Edinburgh, or your 6th college and you want to get the cat out of the way. You can certainly go on a non-bio option. But going back to this slide, we do have some bio or health related programs. Some of them are new, and so I don't know if biology has reviewed the courses yet, but they will review them and let you know if it should count for biology requirements. And some of these have been offered in the past, and you'll be able to know whether it's been approved or not approved. So you can see here on the left-hand side, there's some that are more environmental focused, the sea turtles and tropical ecology in Costa Rica. We ran that last summer. And then you can see there's some that are health focused. Some of these are not coded as biology courses, but if the content is enough that biology decides that it warrants, to be counted as a bioelective, they'll review the courses and let you know. So again, here's that list. And then I did want to talk about programs outside the classroom. So if you're interested in maybe doing research or an internship or doing field studies, maybe you're an EBE major, or you're a human biology major, but you just love the outdoors and you want to be, learning outside. We have great options getting you outside of the classroom. So EAP has research either full-time or hybrid, where you're a student taking classes and then you can do research alongside your classes in Japan, Hong Kong, Sweden, Taiwan, and Scotland. And if you go to our homepage and you get to our UCEAP landing page, we link to the UCEAP website, and you can actually, they have a link where you can click on saying you want to do research, and it's going to spit out all the research opportunities available through EAP. They have a really great program finder, and you can use fields to narrow things down. EAP offers some internships. They don't offer a ton, and they're usually during the summer. And the ones that I've identified that have the potential where it may be related to biology would be in Berlin, South Africa, and Singapore, if you're thinking about a global internship over the summer. And then I'm the Australia advisor, and I know the University of Sydney has helped students arrange for internships, in Australia. And I don't know if you know this, but Australia is also a biotechnology hub, just like San Diego is. And then OAP, going outside of the UCAP system, OAP does a really good job with internships. A lot of the outside study abroad providers will offer an add-on internship opportunity, or they offer internships. Unfortunately, we don't give we have a short list of internships that have been pre-approved for academic credit. So what I tell students that want to do an internship with OAP is you're going to want to be a full-time student, and then an internship can be one of your classes. And I just have this example here. There's an organization called KEI, and it's an organization we work with, and they have a program in Thailand. And years ago, I had a bio major go to Thailand. She went on their program to a university called Mahidol University, where they have a wide variety of courses taught in English. And she did her semester, and then she added on an internship for a month at a hospital. And she came back and she said it was an amazing experience. It wasn't for academic credit. She was pre-med. She wanted that experience, but she said she was able to shadow doctors and really learn a lot after her semester was over. The other internship provider that I wanted to direct you to is UC Davis. They've done a really good job partnering with outside organizations to offer internships, and UC Davis will award the academic credit. So that means that you can use your summer financial aid, get UC units, and do some internships. And they've partnered with an organization called Child Family Health International, where you can get clinical volunteer experience in a variety of locations around the world. And then they've also partnered with an organization called Loop Abroad that is focused on veterinarian science, animal science. So if there's any pre-vet students here, and you want to go to Thailand and learn about, work with elephants in Chiang Mai, you can do that through UC Davis and get UC units. For field studies, there's some great organizations like Wildlands and School for Field Studies. And these types of programs, you're going to be outside of the classroom. They're usually more environmentally focused. And then EAP, like I said, has at Costa Rica, the Australian Marine Biology. So if you want to do research in the field, there's a lot of great opportunities for you as well. So I went through all these different types of programs, probably overwhelmed you. Hopefully it's making sense to you. But now, hopefully, I can give you the tools to select a program. And what I tell students to think about when they're researching the different types of programs and thinking about where they may want to go and looking at the courses, these are the things you need to think about. So what is it you see in terms of your experience? Do you want to be in a lab full-time, which is not a traditional study abroad experience, but is that the kind of experience you're looking for? Or do you like the idea of really like being in a lecture hall with all local students, like all British students, and you can, have the, the flexibility to choose whichever courses you want from their class schedule when you go to enroll? Also, who do you see yourself taking classes with and being surrounded by on a daily basis? Is it a UC program like Global Seminars, where you're with mainly UCSD students through Global Seminars? Or do you see yourself with other international students? So think about what it is you want from your experience. And then with academics, I think I already sort of touched on this. We don't require that if you're a bio major that you only do bio classes abroad. I had a fourth-year bio major go to New Zealand, and I invited him to a session, and I said, come speak about biology classes. And he was like, Rachel, I didn't take any bio classes. I did all GEs. So he saved those GEs for New Zealand because he wanted to do, classes like, about New Zealand film and Maori culture. So you could do a full load of biology, you could do GEs and biology, you could do elective units if you have room in your schedule. All we really, want to make sure that you're doing is progressing towards graduation. So we want to make sure you've planned it out, that is not delaying your graduation. But if you want to move things around, you absolutely can do that. And you're going to be speaking with Camille and her coworkers about, biology courses. If you're thinking about GEs, you're going to be talking to your college, etc. So location, we want to make sure you pick a place that's going to make you happy. And, are you comfortable going to a non-English speaking country, or do you really need to go to an English speaking country because studying abroad in itself is going to be scary enough, and you want to make sure that, you can speak the language on the streets of where you're studying abroad. And then I put weather in there. Students sometimes, will bring up weather. They're embarrassed, but look, I don't like the cold. I don't like the snow. If you're the same way, we don't want to send you somewhere where you're going to be miserable. So I also have students bring up surfing, like they sheepishly, ask me about, okay, which Australian university is closest to the beach? If that's your passion and you like to surf every day and it's your like therapy and your, what you like to do every day, pick a place where you can, you're happy on a day-to-day basis. And then you're also going to want to think about, large city, small town. I once had a student who told me that she wanted to go to rural New Zealand. She grew up in the Bay Area, lived in San Francisco, and she's like, I want the opposite of what I'm used to. And then I've had students tell me, I'm used to big cities. If I went to a small town, I would be miserable. So think about, again, where are you going to feel comfortable and where are you going to be happy? And then timing and duration. Global seminars, you can go once you're an enrolled college student. So a lot of students for global seminars will go between their first and second year. So when do you want to go in your time here at UCSD, and how long? Do you want to go for a summer program, a semester, a year? Just so you know, a lot of the fall programs you'll only be gone fall quarter, even if they're semester based. And then a lot of the programs during the spring semester, you would be gone winter and spring. But it depends. We have some programs that the calendar aligns where you just miss spring quarter. So think about how long that you're willing to be abroad. And then obviously a big one is cost. So if cost is your number one concern, then you're going to want to look at the cost when you're researching programs and make sure it's in your budget. So I did want to mention that we have a lot of info sessions coming up. If you want to take a picture of this QR code will take you to our website, but it's easy to find on our events and calendar page. We have all these info sessions coming up. So if there's certain locations you're thinking about, please attend one of the info sessions. If they're over already, we have recorded the sessions. And then we do have that financial aid scholarship session coming up. And then Global Seminars is actually offering Meet the Professor sessions, where the professor for the Global Seminars will be talking about what their vision is for the program. And you're going to be able to attend and ask questions and get to know the professor and what the classes are going to be about and the excursions and all of that. The other thing I want to highlight is Study Abroad Expo. This is our big Study Abroad fair. It only happens once a year, and it's on Monday, October 17th. UCAP, which is located in Santa Barbara, they're coming down. They're going to have a big table. You'll be able to ask them questions. Global Seminars is going to have multiple tables. We're going to have OAP providers, a financial aid table. Global Seminars is going to have some of the faculty at the tables. So come see us. It's in the town square from 10 to 2. We're also going to have the Study Abroad advising staff there. So if you have any questions, you can swing by. So stop by, that's from 10 to 2. So what to do next? We want you to research the programs, and you can see this is a little snippet. And if you click on students on our website, it's going to take you to a whole bunch of different pages. So you can look at the Find a Program, you can read about financial aid, you can look at our events. There's a lot of information on our website. And I would recommend attending an info session. All of the advisors are going to have Q&A at the end. So if you have any questions, you can certainly stick around and ask questions at the end. And then if you have any questions, come to drop-in advising or reach out to us in back, and I'll have more contact information at the end. So I think I'm turning it over to Camille now.
Thank you. So I know some folks are submitting questions via the Q&A. Just a reminder, we'll get to those questions at the end of our presentation. We are recording this session, so we will be posting this on the Study Abroad website. So as you know, this is the Study Abroad as a bio major session. And I'm sure a lot of you have questions about how studying abroad will fit into your major. And, depending on the courses you complete, you may be able to satisfy requirements for your major. Upper div biology electives tend to be easier to obtain credit for since the content is broad, but it is still possible to satisfy specific bio major requirements as well. I'll review some examples of study abroad courses that have been approved for bio credit with you in some of our upcoming slides. But really what we want to emphasize is that the applicability of a course to your bio major really depends on the program and courses you select. Next slide. So some students ask if it's possible to graduate in 4 years if you're a freshman, or 2 years if you're a transfer student, and also study abroad. It is possible to study abroad and graduate on time if you review your respective biology major page on our bio website. So right now we're looking at the human bio major page for students admitted fall 2020 and later. You'll see at the bottom of this page where that red arrow is pointing, we have freshman sample plans for studying abroad. Now, yes, this is only freshmen. So if you're a transfer student and you want to study abroad, we would strongly encourage you to schedule a 30-minute appointment with us so we can review an individualized plan with you for completing your major coursework in 2 years, while also seeing how we could fit studying abroad on your plan. And I'm going to drop the link to our bio majors page in the chat. And what you'll see is, see, hold on. Links to students admitted fall 2020 and later. So if you're admitted fall 20, fall 21, or fall 22 at UCSD, you would check fall 2020 and later. If you happen to be admitted fall 19, you would want to check or visit your major page via the fall 2019 link. Now, let's see. Oh, next slide, please. So on this sample human biology major plan, you'll see that we recommend that freshman students studying abroad during their 3rd year at UCSD. If possible, we would also recommend that you attempt to take a couple of upper div bio elective courses and a human biology core class if you do plan to go abroad for the year. So like Rachel mentioned earlier, you're still making progress towards graduation and specifically your major requirements. Now, while this sample plan does show a student studying abroad during their 3rd year, like Rachel said, you could start studying abroad during your 1st year, between your 1st and 2nd year. We see students studying abroad during their 2nd and 4th year. So really, it can happen at any time. But what we would also want to point out to bio students is that if you can, we would encourage you to complete your foundational major coursework at UCSD before going abroad. So when I say foundational, I'm talking about, like your lower division requirements. Now, if you're going to do physics abroad or Ochem abroad via those summer programs that Rachel mentioned, then that would be fine, obviously, because that would satisfy that series. Let's see what else. Another thing we want to point out about studying abroad. So we recommend that students avoid studying abroad during their final undergraduate quarter at UCSD, if possible. So if you're planning to graduate spring 2025, if possible, we would avoid studying abroad during that spring quarter because students who study abroad during their final quarter typically have a delayed degree conferral based on our university processing timeline. So once you complete your abroad coursework and the Office of Admissions receives your official transcript, it could take 1 to 3 months for transfer coursework to post to your UCSD record. And then the degree conferral process, so processing students for graduation, can take another 3 months. So you're looking at like a 6-month delay possibly if you study abroad in your very final quarter. Next slide, please. So where can you find information on previously reviewed courses? So on our biology website, you would go to the undergraduate section, specifically course information, and then the courses taken outside the School of Biological Sciences page. You would click on that blue bar listed there that says search previously reviewed coursework. And then next slide. You would get access to this page. Now, we started typing in the search bar, YON for Yonsei University in Korea. And then you'll see what populated is a list of courses that have been reviewed for biology credit. So the first one, BIOC 101, biochemistry, was denied build 1 credit through fall 24. And the next 2 courses, which are the same courses, BIOC 104 has been approved for BIBC 120, which is nutrition, equivalency, if it's completed by fall 26. So it's fall 23 and fall 26, same, but I would go with the fall 26 because it's the same course. Now, it's important to not only look at the UCSD equivalency and biology equivalency, biology credit that's listed on this page, but you also want to pay attention to this expiration term. So in this example, if a student takes BIOC 104, spring 26 and fall 26, if it's whenever it's offered and they're abroad, then they would be able to use this course for biology major credit. So what happens is you just enroll in the course. Once you transfer your coursework over, your course is finally posted to your academic history with your final grade. Then you would just notify us that it's posted. So then we would manually update your degree audit to apply this EAP course to your major. If a student takes BIOC 104 winter 27 or later, which is past the expiration date, it wouldn't be applicable to your major. You would likely have to petition the course to have it reviewed again. So it's always best to look at expiration terms and try to take a course that's already approved. Next slide. So these are other examples of classes that bio students have taken abroad. I'm not going to go through the whole list, but just so you have more examples. Biology 122 is environmental animal physiology, an EAP course taken through National University in Singapore. This course was approved for HB core credit, specifically the physiology group, and then, or bioelective credit. So what that means is if you're a human bio major, then this satisfies your HB core requirement. If you're all of the other majors that's not human bio, like EBE or general biology or neurobiology, then you could use biology 122 as a bioelective for your major. So there's examples here of a global seminar course that was reviewed, which was completed at this institution, and then one of our OAP courses. Next slide. So to have a study abroad course considered for major credit, the content must apply to your major, so it must be bio-based and should be UC transferable, which can be verified by admissions. It must be upper division, taken for a letter grade of C- or higher, and you must be able to meet biology residency. Next slide. And what do students do if a course they are interested in taking abroad is either not listed on that courses taken outside of biosciences page, or the course is listed, was approved, and has expired. So students can submit a petition along with the course description and syllabus by emailing our biology advising email account. And I'll show you where to find this information on the next slide. But essentially what happens is after you submit the petition and the petition material, our faculty will review the courses you're requesting to be reviewed to determine if the course is acceptable for bio major credit or not. So if you want it reviewed for bioelective credit, we can review it for that. If you think a course you're taking abroad is equivalent to BIBC 102, we could review it for that too. So petitions aren't guaranteed to be approved and can take up to 4 weeks to be processed, and we notify students about the outcome of their petition request via the back. Next slide. So to find the instructions for submitting a petition to us, you would go on our bio website, same section, undergraduate course information, And then you would select the page undergraduate petitions. The link that's circled that says undergraduate student petition is the petition on the right side of this slide. And this is the petition form you need to submit if you're having something reviewed for biology major credit. You would check off departmental exception. And then submit it with your other materials. And then all of those details are in this drawer that says undergraduate petitions, School of Biological Sciences, exceptions. It also has our email address and within this drawer, so you know where to send your petition. Next slide. So that's basically all I'm going to cover regarding petitioning major coursework and looking for courses that have been approved for bio major credit abroad. If you ever have any questions, we are also available via multiple platforms. You can always send us a virtual question via the VAC, similar to Rachel and Study Abroad office. We have drop-in and walk-in advising every day. We also have appointments available if you wanted to look at a long-term plan. I know I mentioned that for transfer students to schedule a 30-minute appointment to look at a plan for studying abroad and finishing major requirements. But if you're admitted as a freshman, you could also do that too. Yeah, so.
Okay, I'll take it from here, and I want to share our contact information for the Study Abroad office. We have an in-person front desk, which is this wonderful, beautiful little building right on Library Walk by Center Hall. So you can come in between 9 and 4 and ask any questions you might have. And we also run a virtual front desk. So if you go to our homepage and you go to contact us or advising services, it's going to take you to this information. And then you can submit any basic questions through the VAC. We also are doing drop-in advising Mondays and Thursdays from 1 to 3, and you would sign in through the VAC, just like you would if you went to a bio advising appointment. And then we do appointments as necessary, and then we're having the info session. So there's a lot of different ways to get a hold of us if you have any questions. So now let's turn it over to questions. I did answer a few while Camille was talking, but I want to answer some live, and I'm going to go ahead and stop recording.